Hi, we're interviewing Great Grandma here in Delafield, Milwaukee, in Aunt Mary's computer room, and the date is August 29th, 1996. What is your full name?
Dorothy Mulhollon.
Do you know what your first name means or whom you were named after?
Well, Dorothy means gift of God, and my dad wanted to call me Mary, but I had a sister, Martha, and my mother didn't want to have Martha and Mary because there was a Bible story where Martha would be the bad guy and I would be the good guy. I was the good guy anyway. On with the next question.
When were you born?
In February 26, 1912.
Where? At a home, in a hospital, elsewhere?
In Milwaukee, at home. There was a big storm, and the doctor couldn't make it, so my father had to do the job. He had a big doctor book, and he was reading what to do. And he said the angels helped him. They were there. I think that made my dad and mother especially think I was precious. That was a very happy occasion, and my dad was always telling about it.
What brought them here, and how did they get the money to come here? Where did they first arrive? What possessions did they bring with them?
My parents were born, my father was born in Milwaukee. His parents came over from London. My grandfather was an early settler in Milwaukee. But my mother was from Canada, from Manitoba, Winnipeg. And when her father died, her parents came to Milwaukee and had a boarding house. And after a while, her mother married one of the boarder, Mr. Beaupre, which brings my mother to the name of Hattie Florence Rachel Farr Beaupre Sissel.
What language did they speak, and where exactly did they come from? Did the place they came from have a different name from what it is called today?
Well, I just told you she came from Canada, and my dad came from Milwaukee, and he stayed there.
Do you know any stories that might have told about what life was like for them before they came here?
No, I don't. My mother didn't say how it was in Canada. My dad used to tell about his father, who was the boss of the house, and my dad was sort of the boss of our house, too.
Where did they first settle when they came here? How did they make their living?
Well, in those days, there weren't many jobs for women, and so when they were widows, they usually had a boarding house. They just had people living there who ate and slept there and paid for a living.
What were your parents like?
Well, my mother was very talented with sewing. She had us all dressed up so that I always felt that I looked pretty good. And she sewed for her nieces, and she made wedding gowns for her friends and stuff.
Do you have any brothers or sisters? What were their names, and when were they born in relationship to you?
First came David Allard. He was my big brother. And then Phoebe Ann Geenan. When she was married, her name was Geenan. And then Martha. And then me. And then Ben, my little brother. And my older brother and sister were thick as thieves. And then Martha didn't have a partner very well because Ben and I were together as thick as thieves or even good guys.
Can you tell me what life was like when you were very young and growing up? What are some of your earliest memories?
The earliest thing I can remember is holding on to the baby buggy so that I wouldn't run across the street. My baby brother was in the buggy. And my uncle came along and said, "Oh, now Dorothy's nose will be broken, then you have a baby boy after 3 little girls." My mother said, "We don't talk to her like that." And one of my earliest recollection was feeling pretty disappointed that my uncle wanted my nose broken because I thought he liked me. But my mother wouldn't let him say that stuff.
What did you look like? What were you like as a child? Serious, always getting into trouble, quiet, sad, happy? Can you think of any funny stories to show the way you were?
Don't ask me so much at the
Yeah,
same
Luke,
time.
you need
because
to
I
talk
have
a
to
little
keep-
slower. That's kind of
I have
fast.
to keep telling you how beautiful I was when I was a little child. I had curls, and I used to cut them off and put them in the Bible and save them. And I felt good because my dad liked me so much. And I forgot the rest of the questions.
What were you like as a young child?
Oh, I was a nice little brat.
Can you think of any funny stories to show the way you were?
Well, once I got to be pretty old. I think I was about 6, and I was allowed to cross the street, and my brother wasn't. So I used to walk him to the corner and let him stand on the corner, and I crossed the street, and he stood there and cried.
What is the happiest memory in your childhood, and when did it happen?
Well, I had several happy memories. I used to enjoy my dad taking me down Prospect Avenue to All Saints Cathedral, where, shut up, I'm the hero here. Well, he used to take me to All Saints Cathedral, and they had incense and beautiful music. And then on the way walking down Prospect Avenue, I would say, Daddy, do you think we'll ever live in one of these mansions? And he would say, well, no, I don't think so, honey. But then we stopped and had an ice cream cone on the way home. Who cares where you live?
What led you to choose the type of work you do or did?
I was a stenographer before I was married, and I worked in an office where I did the bookkeeping, did everything in the office. And then after I had my children, I stayed home from work. And after my husband died, I had been a Red Cross nurse's aide, which was a big advantage to me because I then went back to school to brush up on my shorthand and typing, and I practiced applying for a job. And I went to the county hospital to apply for a job, and the man said, I was interested to meet you because your application was so good and so bad. And so I was anxious to meet you. And I told him, well, now the part that was bad has been improved. I'm spending a month doing shorthand and typing all day at Miss Brown's school, and I'm just practicing applying for jobs. I don't expect to get the job. And I got the job. And I was a receptionist at Milwaukee County Hospital, which was a very pleasurable and exciting and interesting. The ambulances would come in, and I would assign the people to the wards and call a nurse to come down and get them. But I greeted them as they came into the hospital, and I felt as if I was able to be a consolation to them.
That's the end of the first half. Hi, we're back here for the second half. Still in Milwaukee, in Aunt Mary's house, whatever the name of the city is here. And we're still interviewing Great Grandma.
Okay.
Did you have any problems in the early years of your marriage? What about?
Does that question come so soon? There's nobody who doesn't have problems.
What was a typical day like for you at work or home?
Ooh, what was a difficult day like?
Typical.
Typical. Well,
Things
at home.
Oh yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
A day at work.
Let's see how long you
We
did.
just come to work and sit down and greet the people as they come in. Wait for a coffee break.
Jake, go. You're in the camera. Go.
And
That's our problem.
Sorry.
so, and for 15 years of my marriage, all the time I was married, I was a housewife. And so I took care of my children, took them out and took them to the park and took them to the playgrounds, took them home, and all that stuff like cooking and cleaning up the house, do the wash. You do the wash on Monday and the ironing on Tuesday, And on Wednesday, I think you're supposed to clean the house, or you could postpone that until maybe Thursday or Friday. Then on Sunday, you go to church. And then on Sunday morning, my husband got up and went downstairs and made bacon and eggs and delicious stuff. And I got the kids showered and dressed for church, and we came down and ate. Then we went to church, which was happy. And then we went to a place where they had hamburgers with cheese and chopped up green olives on them, and potatoes, those French fries. And we used to say to the kids, "I see something outside." And they looked out the window. We thought maybe it was a giraffe or an elephant. And while they were looking out, we ate a few of their French fries.
What values did you try to impart to the children? Religious, moral, social, other?
Well, I wanted them to, I think it's very important for them to be a member of a church, and where they have an opportunity to think about God and how to be a good kid. They were good kids. I tried to be an example. I was a little stupid, but on the other hand, I tried my best.
What do you think was the turning point in your life?
When my husband died, I had a new life, because then I went to work. And one of my friends said she thought my personality was improved when I went to work, because I began to really feel proud. I knew that I was able to earn a living, and I thought that I was able to contribute to the happiness of the people I worked with. I thought it was a good job.
What have been the major accomplishments in your life?
Well, I had a couple of kids and a bunch of grandchildren, which I really have enjoyed them all. That was really the big thing of my life, my descendants.
If you were to give advice to me or my children today, or even to the children to come in our family's future generations, what would it be?
Play fair, be decent, be generous, be kind. Don't try to snitch out and get something better for yourself. It's a lot better to play fair and to be kind. It took me 84 years to learn it.
If you had your life to do all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, I have quite a different attitude now. I think I'd be a lot more, when you're 84 years old, you begin to be more poised and calm, and you don't get so excited about stuff. And I try to give somebody a break.
Is that it? Thank you for sharing these memories with me, and I hope you have a nice day.
And I hope you do too.